I am currently in my neuro era, learning all about the brain, how it's built, and how it functions. And I figured, why don't I just bring you a very practical lesson on how to take care of your brain? Are you going to sit back for this? Okay, let's go. So, the first thing I learned about the brain is that everyone is born with a fixed amount of brain cells called neurons, and this number doesn't change as you age. The downside to that is that if you lose a neuron, it will never regenerate. However, even though you cannot change the number of brain cells you have, you can change the number of connections called synapses between your brain cells. And this is really what is more important in cognitive function, in your ability to learn, memorize, make decisions, all of that stuff. And this is a term you've probably heard before, neuroplasticity. The more you use your brain, the more connections you make, and the more you key into this concept of neuroplasticity. And why this is so important is because it helps your brain age well. It helps you to preserve those cognitive functions I mentioned earlier. And I bet one of your next questions is, so how can we increase the number of connections we have between our brain cells? Fantastic. One of the easiest ways you can do this is by reading. I know that you guessed that I was going to say that, but yes, stick with me. It's not just about reading, though, it's more about engaging with books. It's about reading books that stimulate your mind, that help you think more about the world, books that make you stop and ponder on what you've just read, how it can apply to your life, or where you've seen that before. It's about engaging intentionally with what you're reading. If you're a fiction lover like me, when you read about a character or a place or a thing, you need to start getting to the habit of making mental images of those things. When I was younger, I read the book Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda, and she described this garden where there were frangipani trees and, of course, purple hibiscus flowers. And ever since then, anytime I see a garden, I look out for those trees because I've made this mental image and I'm strengthening my connections between my brain cells because of that mental image I made because I engage with that book. Another thing about reading and engaging with books is to read strategically. You have to be intentional about picking books that force you to learn new things. For me, I typically gravitate towards African fiction books, but every once in a while, I make sure I pick a book that is from another culture or another world entirely. So, next time you're going to pick out a new book, pick out a book that you are not familiar with. Whether the book is based in a new setting, it's a different genre, or if it's in the nonfiction category, it's a book about something you've been mildly interested in learning or something you know nothing about actually, and read strategically. And trust me, your brain will thank you for that. If you really care about your brain, tell me in the comments what book you're going to be reading next.